Okay, so the slavery response to abortion is the dumbest of all arguments. Like, really? 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 You somehow think that slavery and abortion are comparable. Okay, okay. So, a slave, they have some versions of choice. They also have some pleasures which can come from their life. Most slaves work from dusk until dawn, or from dawn until dusk. They go home, have the night in their quarters with their families, whatever it may be. Have to get back up at dawn and go do it again. What is the difference between that and your life now? We're already living a slave style life and we're not that miserable. The miseries that we choose to have are self inflicted because they're all miseries that stem from the legal and voting choices that we make as a society. So, abortion is a reaction to a choice that you made. You made the choice to sleep with somebody, which took the risk. When you had that consensual sex, you accepted the risk of getting pregnant. That was something you chose. You chose to possibly give light to a life, and now you choose to take that light away from that life. That is nothing like slavery. And the idea that you're saying, well, would it be better to kill a child or to allow them to live an entire life in slavery? Let them live in slavery. Let them live. In any situation, you let them live. They can find a way to escape. They can find a way to break their chains. They can all work together. Why would you take one from the slaves who need more people on their own side to help get them out? Because once a slave circle gets big enough, they revolt and they take everything for themselves. That's what happens. There's always a resolution that comes from a situation like that. There's people who can choose. There's the choices that you're talking about in abortion are simply and only yours. Nobody else had any responsibility in that. If you and I were responsible to, like, say, I was the other half of what created your baby, if I had equal responsibility in that abortion, it wouldn't be a murder. We both worked as parent, like, the community could set some guidelines, but the fact that you're taking the decision completely into yourself guarantees that it's murder, because you don't care what anyone else thinks. You're going to take this life. And it's still arguable that it's murder whether you and I agree on it or not. Just because we agree that this is the best thing for it doesn't mean that it's not murder. It's still a life. Whether you call it a potential life or not, those are living cells. It has its own DNA within just a few days. Just a few days to develop its own individual chain of DNA. That's where a life begins. Because I could pull the DNA from that little, when the DNA chain is made in that little clump of cells, as you call it, we could pull that DNA chain and make a clone, and it would be a human being. Oh, gasp! But that's already what these disgusting technologies are trying to do. They're trying to make us be okay with the idea of cloning technology and like all these unnatural ways of controlling the future of human beings, and we don't have the wisdom to understand them because we haven't done any of the real work that is necessary. So don't compare abortion to slavery. You had a choice. You could have kept your legs closed. I could have kept it in my pants. A slave never had a choice. A slave got put into slavery. Their choice is to break free. Dumb. This is a very, very dumb one. Like, could not have been more dumb than that.